There was once a great kingdom, the strongest and mightiest of them all. The king ruled in fairness and justice and formed the alliance with the surrounding nations. Peace reigned throughout the land, and unto the great king and queen was born a son, named Mordecai. All of the nations rejoiced. Jubilee and celebration spread throughout the land. There had never existed such joy and peace in the hearts of the people as this in all the history of the kingdom. But the celebration and peace would soon come to an end. From the shadow of the surrounding forest came a great evil over the land, in the form of a dark and powerful sorcerer. He longed to rip the joy away from the hearts of the people and to bring destruction upon the kingdom. His sorcery brought war upon the nation until he fractured the alliance formed by the nations. During the final battle, in desperate attempts to protect the future of their kingdom, the queen charged a maiden of the castle to ensure the child's safety. The maiden willingly accepted the task and attempted to escape the destruction. The great kingdom had won the last battle, but not without loss, for the queen had perished during the attack, along with many other lives. After the destruction, the sorcerer retreated into the shadows and plotted to return and take revenge. Meanwhile, the maiden had escaped into the forest with the child and entrusted him in the care of a blacksmith and his wife, who vowed to raise him as his own son. The blacksmith raised him in ways of the trade, and the boy grew to be a strong man, skilled in weaponry. He took for himself a wife and lived humbly in the forest, unaware of his true identity. At this time the king grew very old, and the sorcerer knew that the time of his revenge was approaching. One day, when Mordecai and his wife were traveling through the forest, the sorcerer attacked. His magic was futile, for the king's son wore his mother's protective amulet. Realizing that using his powers would be in vain, the sorcerer captured Mordecai's wife and vanished into the darkness. Mordecai was determined to rescue his wife from the evil sorcerer. He recruited his fellow friends to venture into the forest and to confront the sorcerer at his lair. When the men arrived at the lair, they discovered the sorcerer holding Mordecai's wife captive in his arms and demanding the amulet. At this, Mordecai tosses his amulet into the air in hopes of distracting the sorcerer. In an attempt to retrieve the amulet, the sorcerer loosens his grip, and Mordecai's wife was able to break free. As they fled into the forest, they were stopped in their tracks. In that moment, a fire-breathing dragon appeared. The dragon spewed fire from its mouth, and they dodged the flames in the nick of time. The men tried with all of their might to slay the dragon, but without effort it spread its wings and ventured into the sky. Suddenly out of the shadows the sorcerer appeared. Mordecai urged his friends to continue on without him, and to carry his wife to safety. From behind the sorcerer reappeared the dragon, whom without warning breathed fire. Mordecai dodged the attack, but the sorcerer was engulfed by the flames. To Mordecai's surprise, the sorcerer was unharmed by the dragon's attacks. He too carried an amulet of protection. Mordecai knew that he would not be able to defeat the sorcerer as long as he had the amulet in his possession. So he raised his sword and struck the amulet, shattering it into pieces, leaving the sorcerer vulnerable to all attacks. At this very moment, the dragon breathed fire, and the flames consumed the sorcerer, leaving him finally defeated. In the distance, Mordecai's friends and wife could no longer hear the sound of their hero in battle. They feared the worst. Suddenly out of the forest appeared Mordecai, free from any harm, Mordecai, his wife, and his friends were finally together and safe from the evil that had so long plagued them. And from then on, they lived happily ever after. The end.